Hello, everyone, and welcome to our IdeoClick Amazon Prime Day 2020 webinar. Thank you for joining us today. We're wishing that we could see all of your faces and kind of connect in that way with all of our clients this morning or this afternoon, depending on where you are. But today we're going to talk a little bit about Prime Day and hopefully spend most of the time answering a lot of your questions, as this is an unusual Prime Day, as we've kind of continued to see a lot of changes on Amazon this year, and we're getting pretty close to holiday and Prime Day being really close together. So it's a really different year this year. So we're going to share with you about 15 minutes or so of some slides that we've prepared, kind of talking about some of the key themes for this year's Prime Day. And then we're going to try to spend the balance of the time today on your questions. And we look forward to answering those. And we've got a great panel of our subject matter experts here today. So first, we'll do some introductions, but first, just a couple of housekeeping items. The first is that if you have questions either during or after the webinar, please use the chat feature to send them to us. And please make sure that you're sending the questions to admin. If you don't send the questions to admin, that's fine too. It's just everyone will see your name, and if you're interested in protecting your own confidentiality and having some privacy there, we encourage you to please use the admin function and send the questions to admin. And then we will make these slides available to everyone after the presentation. We should just mostly have clients on the call today, so you're welcome to ask some pretty specific questions, and we hope that this is a good use of your time this morning or this afternoon. So first, some introductions. My name is Andrea Lay, and I'm the VP of Strategy and one of the owners of IdeoClick. And I'll let each of our subject matter experts on the panel this morning introduce themselves as well.
Thanks, Andrea. Hi, everyone. My name is Juan Botero. I'm the Partner Engagement Director at IdeoClick.
Hey, everybody. My name is Devin. I'm a Marketing Director at IdeoClick.
And hello, everyone. I'm Clark Heyerdahl. I am a Senior Marketing Manager here at IdeoClick.
Great. Well, we are really excited, so make sure you send us your hardest questions. Really try to challenge our group this morning. And I'll let Juan kick it off. He's going to walk us through some slides that we've prepared, kind of laying out some of the key differences of Prime Day this year.
Awesome. Thanks, Andrea. All right. Well, Prime Day this year, as Andrea mentioned, is going to be slightly different than previous years. I think everyone is expecting that. We've had a pretty initial year, I would say. I think probably 95%, 99% of the audience would agree with me. We will talk about a little bit about Prime Day strategy, product planning, and how to drive traffic and conversion on Amazon and on Prime Day. Then really, we want to focus, like Andrea mentioned, on the Q&A section of this, and hope you bring your best and hardest questions to us. Really, all we want to do is help our clients and our partners be successful on this big day on Amazon. So what's different this year? What isn't, right? So let's start with a global pandemic that no one was expecting, and that has us at our homes working flip-flops for the last 6 months, and us wearing masks everywhere we go, and not being able to travel. But on Prime Day specifically, so 2020 Prime Day, we'll see a lot of new traffic and new Amazon consumers and new Prime Day members because the pandemic. So a lot of the retail business and brick and mortar has really transitioned into e-commerce. You've read everywhere that the e-commerce has really accelerated 5 multiples of years in just a matter of months, and that just brings some interesting opportunities as well as challenges. A lot of the consumers that are coming in are not as used to purchase stuff online, so we really need to make it super easy for them to understand what they're buying and make sure that our pages, our items are optimized. and that the information that we're giving them is giving the correct and concise information that they need to be able to make that final decision and convert on your items. 75% of consumers change brands during pandemic. This came out of a study that McKinsey did a couple months ago, or in the last couple of months. And that's really interesting because it really gives an opportunity to upcoming brands to take a bigger share on what has been maybe predominantly managed or controlled by larger brands. However, larger brands that are well positioned and have good inventory position will be able to capitalize on ensuring that they maintain their consumers. Another different things about Prime this year is that it really falls on Q4. Normally, Prime Day falls on July every year, and making it this close to the Turkey 5, what they call, or a Black Friday, Cyber Monday, it creates its own challenges to brands, because they now have to prioritize which products to run during Prime Day. Are they going to have enough inventory to run both Prime Day and Black Friday, Cyber Monday deals? And it's tricky, right? How much budget do you put into Prime Day versus Black Friday and Cyber Monday? Those are all really tricky things to think about. But ultimately, every brand should capitalize on the fact that Prime Day brings a lot of eyeballs, right? So you think about the Super Bowl, you think about the World Cup, and what brands do during those events, big brands do during those events is, there's an opportunity to capture eyeballs. And that, to me, is what Prime Day and Black Friday, Cyber Monday is. It's really an opportunity to capture the eyeballs of consumers that are actually in a journey to purchase items, so or to look for deals. Also, throughout the year, since I think February or March, we've been hearing Amazon's constraints when it comes to storage capacity, and that's not going to be any different in this Prime Day or this during the holiday season. It's probably going to be actually worse. And so keeping that in mind and ensuring that you have enough inventory both at Amazon and at your warehouses, and actually incoming inventory from your whatever you manufacture, it's important, and it's key to the success on these big events. So, again, I won't spend too much time here. We all know it's one of the biggest shopping events of the year, is the 6th annual Prime Day, and it's going to last 48 hours. I think it went from 24 to 36 to 48 hours in the last 2 years. For Amazon, it continues to be the expectations year over year, and it continues to be a bigger and bigger event. So again, really, really good time to capitalize on the traffic that's visiting the site, and to use it to not only promote your items, but also to take advantage of that halo effect that the event has. There's a lot of the consumers that go and start their research on the items that they like, that they want to purchase ahead of time. So, ensuring that you start early on driving that awareness, and doing it as well afterwards to get to that consumer that maybe, it didn't push the buy button during the day, but, still looking for the item. So you can continue targeting them. These are some part of the overarching process that we go through with most of our clients, and that most brands should go through, really. It's create a plan from the beginning, know which items you're gonna promote, how deep are they gonna be the promotions this year, because of both Prime Day and Turkey 5 are gonna be so close together. I would suggest that you have a strategy on, if you're gonna promote your hero items, your top items on both events, do it a little bit less maybe on Prime Day, and then go deeper on the holiday. That way, you know that Amazon usually have these tenets that you have to follow these guidelines, and usually it's normal. We'll see what happens this year just because it's different. Normally, they'll look back 30 to 60 days to ensure that the promotions that you're giving are deeper on Black Friday, Cyber Monday that they were in the previous 30 to 60 days, because Prime Day is just about 60 days or less from Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Then maybe if you're going to offer a 20% discount during Prime Day, and then maybe a 25 or 30% discount during Black Friday, Cyber Monday, that could be a good approach. At this time, for the majority of the promotions, really for Prime Day, they're set. So maybe thinking about Turkey 5, which you still have some time to put in, and ensuring that you have all your products, should be your entire catalog. But if only the items that you're really promoting, ensure that they're retail ready, and that you've gone through and worked with our teams to get those items retail ready. Images, bullets, A+ pages, reviews, pricing. It is all really, really, really important. Sign up on promos early on. Again, this year it was super early because they continued to push the Prime Day back and back. But I believe just until about mid of last month, you were able to submit promotion, some promotions like BPCs. And stuff like that. But for lightning deals and best deals, those were due a lot earlier in the year. And then, as always, you want to plan, execute, and then look at the results and analyze and take a look, do deep dives on the amount of traffic that you received that day or those 2 days. I have clients that actually will keep their Amazon page open, their Vendor Central page open, and they'll look at traffic by hour and really see how traffic flows over time, and looking at your engagement, looking at your conversions, and then from that, take the knowledge that you get from it and really adjust it to capitalize on Turkey 5 and go super big on the Turkey 5. Then some strategic considerations, product selection. As always, if you're going to go big with lightning deals, best deals, it's really important to usually pick your high velocity items, your hero items. They're going to have a better chance at being picked for better spots during Prime Day and you get it, Prime Day, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and get really good spots during the events as well. But they do need to be healthy, right? They need to be financially healthy for both Amazon and you guys to be able to promote them, and they need to be relevant to the promo timing. Competitive analysis. This is something that every brand should do, is take a look at what your competitors are doing. See, what they're doing with items like the one that you're promoting. How deep did they go last Prime Day or last Black Friday on the promotion? Can you match it? Can you do better? Because know that a lot of consumers, they're going to be shopping around. So, it depends on the category that you're in. But doing that competitive analysis is always good. And then, there are a lot of softwares that will help you track your competitive ASINs, and that will give you that data. Reach out and we'll be happy to help you, or reach out to your CSM and I'm sure that they'll be happy to help you do that. Budgeting, always tricky, but in general, I think it is a short event, so go all in. If you're gonna be promoting items, go all in and give it your all. The worst that can happen is that you don't use your entire budget, and the best that can happen is that you actually didn't you used it all and you didn't have enough, and maybe you can say, hey, you know what, for the next one I'm going to double it. But having a budget on all the areas that that are going to help you both, promote your items and drive awareness on your items. Inventory key. Without it, you're dead. There's nothing you can do with it, right? So without inventory, so ensuring that you have a good inventory position, and both in Vendor Central, Seller Central, and at your warehouse. At this point, really, we're probably just a couple weeks out from Prime Day, and it's not official. Nobody has get the official date yet, but we're thinking that it's gonna fall probably on the week of the 12th, and that is I don't think it's gonna go past the 20th, really, or that following week, but plan for it to start either that Monday or Tuesday of the week of the 12th. And then pull all the levers. If you're going to participate, pull all the levers that you have available: AMS, DSP, as well as all your other off-channel support, right? So social media, influencers, and there's a lot of new levers that Amazon has added, like posts and live video, that I'm going to touch on in a little bit, that I also think are going to be super useful, and brands should start experimenting on how to use this, right? These are all things that Amazon is testing. They're now free, so which is not something that I would say for a lot of programs on Amazon. So might as well start testing them, right? If they become something, which I don't think they will go away, but if they become something, you're going to be ahead of the game. And if they don't, you're still promoting your brand. So get on it. These are just some on Prime Day 2019, some of the top selling categories. No big surprises here. Electronics usually are the ones that drive the majority of the sales. Everyone's looking for big, screen TVs and the new Bose or headphones, or Apple Watch. So it's not a big surprise, but this year it will definitely be interesting to see. I think there's going to be a lot more early shopping for Christmas gifting. So, but again, we'll see. I think that people will start shopping early for Christmas. There's less disposable income. There's still a lot of people at work. So my guess is that they'll probably start shopping earlier and be hunting for deals. Inventory planning, I've said it before, really important, right? So top products that you want to create awareness for, they need to be fully stocked. What are some other items that would be good options to promote? Is newer items that maybe launched during March and April and didn't get the traction that they needed, and you might have additional inventory. Really good opportunity to push promotions on those. And then giftable products you want to test for the holidays would be good to get a first run, see how it goes, and then maybe go deeper on your discounts during Turkey 5. And then of course, excess inventory is always it's always a good time to move some of that. Look at past sales, look at trends, see how things are moving, and then plan accordingly, right? So if you're expecting, usually brands and your CSMs know better than anyone how your items sell, and you can forecast up, using either your P90 forecast on Amazon and then some in some cases. But that they give you a good, I would say, reference on what to follow. And then evaluate, again, your inventory in all your places: Amazon, your warehouse, and inbound. won't spend too much time here because I do think that this is something that every brand should be doing regardless. Like they should just be making sure that their detail page are ready and that all their items are retail ready. So you need to be winning the buy box. You need to have relevant keywords, and all your bullets need to be optimized. You need to have A+ content or A+ premium if you have that available to you as well. Amazon has Prime Day launches, product launches. It's too late, but this is something good to remember for next year, which, you can actually launch brand new items and do an exclusive for 30 to 90 days with Amazon. You don't need to discount them, but just because you're getting a lot of traffic to Amazon, they're usually a really good strategy for brands to launch some of their marquee items during this day. All right, now focusing on how to drive traffic and conversion. So AMS, you should have campaigns on running. If you're working with us, you have campaigns running that are either category, brand, defensive, offensive, long tail, and you should be making sure that all the campaigns for the products that you're running are optimized and are, in the next 2 weeks, start increasing your bids and your budgets. You want to gain relevance. You want to gain relevance on the items and the keywords that you are selling to ensure that, one, the keyword bid war is going to increase during this time. The more relevant you are for those keywords, the cheaper it's going to be for you to convert on them. So starting early is a good plan. Then DSP, to me, during these times, these big events, it's crucial that brands are using and capitalizing on DSP and the power of Amazon's programmatic data and all their first-party data. And then cross-channel, you want to create awareness about all the stuff from all your followers, right? You want to create awareness on your social media, your Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram, wherever it is, about the deals that you're going to be running, and drive that traffic to Amazon. Not going to spend too much time here. By this time you have sponsored products, sponsored brands, sponsored videos for AMS, and there's some new or newer the sponsored brand videos, sponsored brand videos and sponsored display on pages that are all really good places for you guys, for every brand to be using. Amazon Live, I mentioned it earlier. Amazon is getting more and more in this. If you think about a QVC type, I'm sure you've probably seen it. So last Prime Day and last Black Friday, Cyber Monday, you saw a video on the Amazon landing page, Amazon.com landing page, where it's type of like a QVC event, and you have this Amazon employees like going through and showcasing the items. Well, Amazon created an entire live platform for brands and influencers to demonstrate products every time, all the time. And it should, I truly believe brands should be using this as an opportunity to tell. It doesn't matter. The cool thing about this, it doesn't matter how big you are. It's all on an Apple iPhone. Well, if you don't have an iPhone, then, which I don't, get your wife's. My wife does. So, but it only works on iOS, and you download the app, and it's super simple. And who to better tell the story than the brands themselves, right, about their products? So I really, really encourage brands to start testing Amazon Live. I think that also there are different tiers. So Amazon has 3 tiers, and you can level up. The more live content you post, the higher you go. I think it's after you get about an hour and a half of live content, you level up to the next one, and then about 3 or 4 hours of live content, then you level up to being an A-list streamer, which gives you also positioning on different parts of the Amazon page. And then Amazon posts, which kind of like mimics what you would do on Instagram or Pinterest, and that experience about creating some sort of like more inspirational brand story, and not so much the Amazon like experience that consumers are used to, which is very transactional. So this is more, there's more emotion. You can tell your brand story. You can actually, in a single post, you can link to multiple products, and where they show up is usually on a brand feed, on a PDP. There's also category feeds and related feeds that you will show up if you do post. And one cool thing about it is that if you are doing already social media posts, you can reuse all of that content and put it in place within the Amazon post. And kicker, it's also free. DSP, as I mentioned it, demand side platform, it really important that it allows you to target already custom audiences that Amazon has, as well as retarget consumers that have looked at your items or your competitor items. So thinking about people who are doing their research about what they want to buy, start targeting them earlier, and it follows them across the internet, right? So it's not only on Amazon, but it also follows them, like digital advertising follows them around the internet to show them the stuff that they have shown interest for, to remind them, hey, come back, get it. So some success factors, you want to get noticed, make sure that you're using all your levers, and you have multiple touches with your consumers. Leverage FOMO. So that's something that Amazon has done amazing in when they're running the Prime Day and Black Friday, Cyber Monday, is leveraging the FOMO. You'll see that under each item that is running a live deal, they have like how many units left, how much time left. So leverage that. It's important, and offering sufficient value for consumers to convert. And then in order for brands to really strengthen their strategy or their tactics when approaching an event like this, there are three stages, or we break it up really in three phases: the lead up and what you should be doing during the lead up, the event, so in this case Prime Day, and the things that you should be doing, and the lead out to re-engage that audience to increase your halo effect. So lead up, really promote the value of your deal and brand. We're going to be sharing the deck with everyone, so I won't spend a lot of time going through the details, because like we said earlier, we really want to get to the Q&A and spend most of the time there. So really, for the 15-20 days prior to Prime Day, we're really recommending increasing your budgets to, again, start winning and creating relevance on those category keywords and those keywords that are going to make a difference. To one, be more relevant during the day, and to make it less expensive during that specific day. And then also increase your bids. So not only increase your budgets, but increase your bids so you can be more competitive. During the day, during Prime Day, really it's all about converting and converting that brand awareness that you created. To ensure you have enough budgets on your AMS, it's key. And this is kind of like a breakdown of what we recommend brands to do to drive traffic and build that awareness. So from increasing your budget, 4x. So if you're and think about it in days, right? So if you think about it, if one, I'm spending, I don't know, $10,000 a month, and you're telling me to spend $40,000, like bring it down to just 2 days. So if I'm spending $50 a day, I want to spend $200 a day, and it's just 2 days, so you're going to be spending $400. So bring it down, really condense it to just those 2 days that you want to make the big spend, and then for the rest, the prior week and the week the lead out, then you can bring those budgets down, those bids down a little bit, not too much, to make sure that you continue to maintain that awareness. these are just some tactics on during the Prime Day, so sponsored ad tactics, right? And what you should be doing. And then the lead out really, to me, is really focusing on re-engaging the audience that either looked at your items, looked at your competitive items, and either if you're a consumable, purchased or didn't purchase your brand or your competitors, and you want to continue to retarget them. If you're not in a consumable business, then I still think that there is a lot of value on retargeting consumers that are shopping items that you sell. And then, of course, there's a lot of packages that Amazon sells, usually to bigger brands. And I did not really mention them, but they're in here. And main reason is there isn't a lot of reporting that comes out of it. And it's, if you have massive budgets and you want to spend on a banner on a highway, I mean, this highway has a lot of traffic. So it really just to build awareness. Don't expect a lot of reporting coming out of Amazon. We've never seen it. And when they do share it, it's lackluster. So if you're gonna spend it, know that it's an awareness play, and that's it. And then Prime Day promotion options, lightning deals, spotlight or wow deals. Those came out last year, and they're pretty deep. I think for a wow deal, you need to be at like 45% off minimum. And all promotion types have the specific tenets that Amazon requires. So they do have thresholds that you need to meet. And that's it. So hope that wasn't too long. Am I talking to an empty room?
I know it sometimes feels like that on these webinars, doesn't it?
Right.
Thank you, Juan, for all of that great information. I think this is, like you said, a really unusual Prime Day, and it'll be really interesting to see kind of the type of traffic and volume that Amazon's able to drive this year relative to other years, kind of given the proximity to holiday and I think kind of what may feel like to a lot of us the last minute nature kind of this year's Prime Day. We do have a few questions coming through, so I'll go ahead and share some of those, and then maybe we can pose those to our panel of experts to answer. So our first one is, when should I launch my DSP campaign, and how much budget should I put against it?
Thanks, Andrea. I think I can take this one. So in terms of when to launch your Amazon DSP campaign, it's really going to come down to if you are currently running Amazon DSP or not. I have advertisers who are launching a DSP strategy for the first time, in which case we would want to launch approximately 30, even 45 days before Prime Day, so that we have time to optimize that campaign and recognize KPIs that are performing well for us and maybe where we need to make some optimizations. For brands that are more, call it, experienced with Amazon DSP, we want to make sure that heightened DSP spend is at a level that it can raise awareness for the brand. And in that case, somewhere between 15 and 30 days we find is the right level to start building awareness for your products that will be on deal during Prime Day. In terms of budget, DSP has the ability to spend $15,000 in a month, all the way up to some brands. I think Geico's of the world are spending $500,000 a month, and so the budget that you'll be using for Prime Day is really going to come down to what your goals are, what you see your potential audience size being, and having that conversation with your marketing manager to determine what the appropriate level of DSP spend is to reach the right amount of customers before Prime Day.
So it sounds like you're saying if you're going to run DSP this year for Prime Day, like it needs to go live like now.
That's correct. Yeah. If you're a new advertiser or existing one, we should be talking about ramping DSP campaigns probably starting this week.
Okay. Another question coming in. Okay. Someone says they've missed the deadline for a promotion. what can they still do to kind of drive some traffic during Prime Day or Prime days?
So there's still a couple of things they can do. They missed the deadlines for the big lightning deals or best deals. Price discounts should still be available, and they're not as visible, but they ultimately you're leveraging the volume of traffic, and they'll show up as a slash price when they're on the product. And then they'll need to do a lot on their side to drive that awareness on social media and to their followers. And then also what they could do is, which it's if they have partners or they sell on other retailers, is offer those discounts to other retailers, and Amazon will gladly match them. Don't tell anyone. I mean, everyone knows. So Amazon will match them on price, right? So if they have access or they're selling at Macy's or a Walmart or a Target, that's still an option, is offer those discounts at other places and have Amazon match them.
So just really quickly, is there, from like a marketing perspective, even if I don't have any deals running, so let's say I've missed the deadline to do that, are there any kind of tips or tricks, maybe like stuff I can do with posts or other things to try to drive some traffic to my pages?
Yeah, Andrea, I can take that. There is a post web lab running right now, just to emphasize the importance. So far, it's been limited to PDP visibility, but they are running a web lab. So some users may be experiencing it right now, where posts will appear in search results based on keyword relevancy. It's like Juan called out earlier, it's free to participate. So social media managers should include that in kind of their social media repertoire and be uploading to that on a regular basis. Also, just want to double click on, as people are tightening their budgets and Prime Day being abutting Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and you're having to prioritize, keep in mind your defensive campaigns are critical. For every 1,000 glance views, the odds of a customer switching brands, leaving your brand, decreases by 9%. So even if you can only afford to double your defensive campaigns, you should still do that for the weeks leading up to Prime Day, and then the weeks leading out.
Yeah, that was actually another question that came in, kind of more questions about budget. Like, how do you think about splitting that budget across paid search versus DSP?
You can also run live promos. So on the live platform, you can have live only promos that are available only when you're for the time that you're live.
When it comes to balancing AMS versus DSP, if you have highly efficient campaigns that are not running the full day, they're going out of budget, at 2 p.m., make sure to ramp up those budgets before you pivot those dollars to DSP. But if you're seeing diminishing returns on AMS, start leaning into DSP, where you can do more advanced targeting and also capitalize with remarketing on all those eyeballs who saw your page with this traffic search on Amazon, but may have not converted during that Prime Day window.
That's a really great point about adjusting budgets. And that's actually another question that just came in. So what kind of CPC increases should clients or advertisers expect to see on Amazon during Prime Day?
It really depends on category. So some electronics categories may be seeing 5x increases, other grocery brands. It really depends on the competitor, on what your competitors are doing, right? So if everybody's tightening their budgets, they're not viewing Prime Day as a drive time for them. It may be lower CPCs. It's a great time for you to capture market share. But depending on how aggressive the competitors are being, those CPCs can go 5-10x what they are outside of Prime Day.
I remember a couple of years ago, there was a philosophy around kind of starting those increased starting that increased spend a little bit before Prime Day, but more importantly, like keeping it running after Prime Day is over, because it's not like the traffic just goes off of a cliff. Is that still a best practice? And
yeah, there are two big benefits to the ramp up time. So people are browsing, they're prospecting for those deals, per Juan's call earlier. People are tightening budgets on the consumer side. So people are going to be building a shopping cart. These are things I want to purchase. So there's still going to be increased traffic on the platform. But also, if you can use the lead up time to build your organic relevancy, moving your product from second page to first, then you can capitalize on that traffic surge much more effectively for free on Prime Day than if you were still on page 2 and had to use sponsored ads to capture each of those incremental views. And then same thing for leading out. People made purchases, they may have built a cart, things were not on deal. So they'll be coming back to the platform to convert after the fact.
As also part of that lead out phase as well, we can use Amazon DSP to capture any traffic that, say, visited your product detail pages during Prime Day but did not convert. That type of targeting is available through DSP.
That's really exciting. It feels like maybe there's a whole other topic on like how to take advantage of everything you learned and doing some retargeting and things like that after Prime Day, which is pretty exciting. Okay, so that kind of addressed one of the other questions we got, which was, should I and how much should I increase my AMS bids before Prime Day starts? I don't know if we feel like we already covered that one or if we have anything else we want to say about it.
Yeah, we have some best practices that your marketing managers will be working with you. Juan kind of alluded to those earlier. There's conservative versus aggressive bid increases, and it also depends on what the targeting schema is. So for category, if you're looking to build out relevance, capture market share, maybe 4x the bids. If you're looking just to defend your space, you don't need to increase the bids as much. Maybe just double up, because competitors are not going to be increasing their budgets and bids against your branded terms as much as they are against those category terms.
Totally makes sense. Well, this is actually the $1 million question. How do you prioritize Prime Day versus Black Friday? And the question wasn't specific about whether we're talking about marketing or I guess inventory, but how do we want to think about or provide guidance on these trade-offs this year, since they're so close together and you might have to choose between one or another because they fall within the same quarter?
Yeah, I'll take a stab at it. I think it is the $1 million question. Like, where do you focus? And it really, I hate it, but it really depends. It really depends on the category that you sell on. It really depends on your inventory position that you have at the moment, and whether you think you're going to be able to have enough inventory to play on both, and to capitalize on both. I personally think that you should, if brands are able to test the waters on Prime Day and double down on Turkey 5, just because they're so close together, it really creates an opportunity to see what the Turkey 5 volume can be, and it also allows for another month and a half of change within the market, and hopefully to the better, right? Like, we still are at during the pandemic, and we still have a lot of people without a job, so allowing for some normalcy to continue, things to continue to improve. But I would say I would personally prioritize Black Friday, Cyber Monday, just because of the time of the year.
So we have another question here. What do I do if I can't get my inventory to Amazon in time? So I'm assuming that this client is in a position where they've planned to run some deals. Maybe they have some advertising set up, but it doesn't look like the inventory is going to make it there on time for whatever reason.
Ideally, we would have been shipping that inventory in, 1 to 2 months back. It's difficult to plan for Prime Day with it being a moving target this year. But the receiving channels are jammed, and all inbound shipments are heavily delayed. You can set up backup offers as dropship and manufacturer fulfillment network in Seller Central. So if you do have the capability via your warehouse or a 3PL to dropship, you can still maintain a non-prime offer, even if your FBA or VC inventory dries out.
That's great. Okay. Okay. How should we be thinking about, in one of your slides, you had something about direct fulfill. How should we be thinking about the option for direct fulfillment versus other options?
Well, I think Devin just answered that, right? So direct fulfillment, if you have the option to have a backup plan for direct fulfillment, you should make sure that you're ready to go, because it's never, inventory is not going to make it to Amazon on time at this point to be ready for Prime Day, right? Or to be there as backup for Prime Day. So your backup, if you're able to do dropship, is doing dropship and doing MFN in Seller Central. That should be your backup, and ensuring that your team knows that, hey, be ready just in case Amazon runs out of inventory, or we're seeing that the inventory is running low.
And just to build on that, the majority of manufacturers do not have dropship capabilities. So if there's anything COVID taught us, we need contingency plans for our supply chain and getting the product to customers. So if Prime Day is the catalyst or the red flag that prompts you to explore that further, then so be it. But just to expect these same type of hurdles to hit you in the coming months and years. So it's good to lay that foundation now.
I would wholeheartedly agree with that. I think COVID taught us all a lesson about potentially being not diversified enough, from a manufacturer perspective in fulfillment, and maybe just only having one means to fulfill Amazon. And when that is cut off, when you're cut off from that, you have some real problems. So I think there's some importance around, for sure, as you mentioned, Devin, diversification on fulfillment options. So making sure you have multiple ways you can ship product to Amazon, in multiple ways you can ship product to customers, even if it's not on Amazon. And I think that's another kind of diversification point that we learned through COVID, or a lot of manufacturers had some hard learnings on through COVID as well. You need other e-commerce channels, and we need to be finding ways to kind of invest in all of those channels, to have a truly diversified strategy.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's not only their fulfillment center capacity, it's also their staff capacity, right? Amazon just announced they're hiring another 100,000 employees to support their warehouses, as well as in Q4, due to demand, the spike on demand on online shopping, FedEx, UPS, like all the rates are gonna be higher, right? And it's going to be a competition on who's going to deliver, and then if people are going to be able to get it on time.
So I think we have gotten through all of our questions that have come through on the chat. First, I want to thank our panelists, Juan, Clark, and Devin. Thank you so much for your time today. And also want to thank all of our attendees and all of our clients there for dialing in and sharing some of your time with us. We're happy to answer more questions. You probably have most of our contact information, or reach out to your client success manager if you don't, and we're happy to help with kind of additional questions. But thank you so much, everyone, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, thank you.
Thanks, everyone.